And suddenly I thought I was having a heart attack. I was really
Wow.
so painful and everything. Oh no, I'm dying, you know. So I went to the doctor, he examined me and he said, well, I'm afraid to tell you, you're on the verge of a breakdown. What
Right.
are they talking about? I'm not having a breakdown.
What do you feel was the key to actually getting through that breakdown?
I loved my work.
Yeah.
It was brilliant when I was in Whitehall. Loved every minute of it.
What part of your working life did you enjoy the most? Was it the commentary or writing books?
That's a nice question. Yeah. Well, to be honest, I've enjoyed it all probably equally well because whatever I'm doing, I think do it to the best you can.
Agreed.
See how it spans out. And I loved my professional life as a civil servant. Did very well there. Cried my eyes out when I left Whitehall, even though I'd asked for a transfer. I'm intense in everything I do, and the job's the same and everything. And it drips away at you in the end, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I wrote my first book at 16.
Wow. You knew from an early age then?
What? No, 15.
15.
My dad hired a typewriter for me to type it up on. 5 shillings a week from Ashworth in Church Street.
What was 5 shillings back in
25
today's?
pence.
Wow.
Yeah, that was what it cost to hire this typewriter. So I was dead chuffed. I'm typing away. And when I'd finished it, well, what do you do with it as a 15-year-old? Nothing. Nobody wants to know that. Nobody's interested in a 15-year-old writing something. So I shoved it in a brown envelope. I can remember it vividly. It sat in that brown envelope from 1961 until 2015, probably.
That's a long time.
Out of the blue, Deborah rings me. Dad, I've got a brown envelope here full of some typescript. And there were 2 copies in there. There was an original and a carbon copy. Because I did a carbon copy.
You
Don't
even
ask me
thought at
why.
that age to do a carbon copy?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I did a carbon copy, but I did.
You're an organised 15-year-old, weren't you?
I did. Deborah said, I'll put it aside for you. Her husband burnt it on the fire.
No.
Yeah. Because I said, Deborah, what I think I might do now people know me. I said, I think I might publish that. I'm not going to alter it. I'm not going to rewrite it.
Definitely
because
not.
It's better coming from the eyes and the hand and of a 15-year-old. I go down, right, have you got that? Oh, Dad, Andy's burnt it.
Oh,
no.
so your very first book,
Yeah.
the original piece was burnt.
Yes. It would be the only one of my books that I've ever read after I've written it.
Oh, you never read one of your books?
No. 17, I start a book selling career. So books are my prime aim outside the office. Getting catalogues from booksellers and all this, that and the other. And one bookseller, John Wrigley, he used to publish occasional essays in his catalogue, right? So I used to read them. I wasn't thinking cleverly. I just thought, oh, I could write one of them. Why don't I do one and send it to him? So I wrote about a chap who a hero of mine from Victorian times. Nobody knows him now. Albert Smith. I wrote about him. Sent it to John. He published it. So that was a start. I then wrote 3 or 4 more on Robert Louis Stevenson, G.P.R. James. And then I'm working, so I didn't do anything else. I'd been writing for the odd magazine, little things here and there. And then I thought, I'm going to do a book on the 1906 West Indian tour.
Cricket.
And I wrote the West Indian tour of England 1906. 500 copies, sold out.
Sold out?
Which surprised me. Yeah, it took a while. It didn't take a year, but it took a while.
And how did you get that first book to market?
Right.
Because obviously there was a lot of authors out there.
I knew that no publisher would take me on. So I thought, right, I'll publish it myself. And it was successful. Right, I'll write From Peak to Pool. And I wrote From Peak to Pool, a history of Lancashire versus Derbyshire at Blackpool.
How many books in total have you done? Right,
well, it's a difficult question, that. I've actually written 43 books, but 100 and 25 publications.
One thing that I was struck when we've spoken many times about is, you know, the breakdown that you suffered.
Yes, interesting.
And by the sounds of it, you didn't really expect it, and it sort of just came.
No.
Do you mind telling me a bit about that?
Yeah, of course. Funnily enough, just as an aside, words of a song I always used to say to Linda, even the bad times are good. And looking back on it, it was a horrendous time, but in some way I learnt a lot from it. And I went to see a specialist about something at Whitegate Drive. And they got me in a gown, laid me on the bed, and this specialist walks in. Mr. Woolsome, he said, he looks at me, he's not examined me or anything yet. He said, I can tell you now, there's nothing wrong with you. This is stress related. And I thought, like you do, what's he talking about, stress related? I've got pain, you know. So that was probably unknowingly the start of it. But what brought it home, Linda went round to her mum's one night, which was only 2 streets away, and suddenly I thought I was having a heart attack. I was really so painful and oh no, you know. So I rang Linda's mother and said, put Linda on, please, get back here, Lynn, quick. I said, I'm dying, you know. I can remember he gave me my first taste of, what's that? I've forgotten what the drug's called now. The one that everybody takes. Anyway, he gives me that. And I must admit, the first time I took it, it did relax me immensely. Tremendous. So that was the start of it. And it came again. So I thought, I better go to the doctor because there's something wrong here. So I went to the doctor, he examined me, and he said, well, I'm afraid to tell you, you're on the verge of a breakdown.
Wow.
I knew.
Did you have the signs?
Well, I'm intense in everything I do, and the job's the same and everything. And it drips away at you in the end, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And however good you are, because when it all happened, my staff, 2 a man and a lady, and a girl and a boy, 300 of them, all said, can't happen to Gerry. He's on top of everything. Yes, you are. But when it comes with a bang. And one psychiatrist said to me once, he said, I'll tell you something, Gerry. He said, you do everything to the max, even this breakdown. Because he also said to me, like this one, he said, Linda was with me, because I wouldn't go anywhere without her once this happened. He said, there's 3 things, one of 3 things we can do. He said, I can give you some electric shock treatment.
Wow.
I can give you some medication, or we can talk. And I said, thinking, I must make a bit of a joke of this, I said, hey, keep talking, doctor. You know. And he, very seriously, looked at me and said, well, what do you want me to talk about? He didn't get the joke. And afterwards, when Linda and I were going out, I said, hey, Linda, he didn't get that joke, did he? And so she said, no, well, the thing is, they don't expect their patients to make jokes.
No, well, that's true. Yeah. And it's not a joking matter for them, is it?
But I thought it was very apt. Keep talking, because I don't want any of the others.
What do you feel was the key to actually getting through that breakdown?
Determination. And acceptance. Because at first, I couldn't accept it. What are they talking about? I'm not having a breakdown. That was immediately I came out of the surgery after I'd been told that. That was my reaction.
Yeah.
But within a week, I realised they're right. There is something seriously wrong here. And I went downhill from there. Wouldn't go out, you know, without Linda. Didn't really want to go out. Wouldn't answer the phone. Wouldn't speak to anybody, which has got me to be the way I am now in a way, because I'm a little bit of a recluse now.
So I'd love to speak a bit about Linda, because obviously we've spoken about your wife before, and she just seems like such an amazing person that she was. And obviously I know that unfortunately you lost her a number of years ago. 22 years ago, is that how long it was?
Yeah.
Does it feel like 22 years ago?
I'm not sure.
No.
I can't get over it even now.
No.
I know that probably sounds pathetic.
It's not pathetic.
I can't.
No.
I just, every day I look at the photos and say, I love you, Lane, you know, yeah. Unbelievable. We were at home one night, sitting on the settee, and Linda suddenly said to me, I'm going to have to go to the doctors. I think I've got a lump in my breast.
Oh,
I went, no. She went, yeah, I think so. Anyway, off we go to the doctor. Yeah, we better get this seen to. He refers us to the hospital. She sees one of the specialists who says, yes. He said, but I don't think you need to worry. It's not, I've forgotten the word now. What is it when it's malignant? It's not malignant, yeah. Until 2 days later, they rang us and said, Linda, you better come in.
oh,
Then within a week or so, she'd had an operation.
wow.
Yeah. So that was that. She had to do 6 weeks at Christie's. Linda said, don't come every day because the treatment, as you probably know, it's short and not very sweet. So she did that, 6 weeks there, and then had to be going every 6 months and so on and so on. And eventually they said, we've calmed it, that's fine. But it came back.
Oh,
In her lungs and her bones and everything. When I look back on it, stoic, unbelievable. Even in the hospice, she spent the last month in the hospice, and they were brilliant, let me just say. At the end, the last week of Linda's life, they wanted to go for some more chemo at Preston, right? And at first she agreed. So the day before, the sister said to me, Gerry, we've got a bit of a problem tomorrow with Linda going to Preston. I said, why? She said, we've got no nurses to accompany her. Do you think you'd be so good as to accompany her? Oh, of course I will, I said. Yeah, I'll accompany her with pleasure. I said, there's only one condition. She said, what's that? I said, I want a nurse's uniform to wear as well. And Linda said, this proves how Linda was.
yeah.
Linda looked at the sister and said, sister, don't give him one, he'll wear it. Honestly.
Did you get one then or not?
Hang on.
Oh,
Finish the story.
okay.
I go the next morning expecting to jump in an ambulance and go flying off to Preston. Linda decided not to bother.
Oh.
Yeah, she said, no, it's too late. I'm not going through that again.
Bless.
It's too late, I'm afraid. Which broke my heart again.
I bet. What really got to me when we spoke about it before was day you lost your wife, you created a book of poems.
I did.
And I remember you reading one to me, and it still resonates with me now, that moment. It's one of those things that you never forget.
I did.
But that shows the love you have for her.
That's why the poetry book's called The Lost Love, a double noun. Lost love being Linda, that I've lost. The Lost Love poems of a madman, because I'd gone through the madman stage.
You had, yeah.
And she supported me all the way.
That shows you how good of a wife she was, wasn't
she was
it?
Wonderful. The funny thing is about that book, I set it all up at the printers myself because I like to be in control. Yeah, so I set it all up myself, and when I'd finished, there was a white page at the end. The back page was white, and I don't like white pages in books if I can help it. I think you've got to fill it somehow. And I suddenly thought, I'd had my heart bypassed by then, and I thought, I've not mentioned my heart bypass, and I don't really want, but it would be nice to give Dr. Tang and the nurses and everybody there, and give the nurses there a mention and thank them for what they've done. So I wrote a poem while I was setting the book up and filled the back page. Then I took half a dozen or more to the hospital Victoria, to give to the ward staff and Dr. Tang and that. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But obviously, like you had such a great marriage. What do you feel is the secret to having a happy marriage?
That's a good question, that. Because we were very alike, okay, but Linda wasn't particularly sporting. I think I've said to you once before, she swears the first thing I said to her on our first date was, are you interested in sport? When I spoke at the funeral, I said, 250 people there, all of them knew us, and I told that story. I said, Linda swears to her dying day that the first thing I said to her was, are you interested in sport? And I said, now those of you here know me. I said, You know I wouldn't say something like that. Well, the place erupted. The place
You definitely would.
erupted. Yeah.
Knowing you like I
Yeah.
do, you
The
are a
place
big
erupted.
sports
Yeah,
fanatic.
well, Linda had never been to a football match in her life.
Wow.
She'd never been to a cricket match in her life. She'd never been to Wimbledon. She'd never been stock car racing. She'd never been to Speedway. She did it all.
I want to touch base on your heart operation
Oh, yeah.
and your bypass, because obviously we just touched on the NHS and how good they were, but
They were brilliant with me. I'll tell you a couple of funny stories about it because I was frightened to death.
I bet.
Absolutely frightened to death.
Did it come out of the blue then?
It did. I was doing aqua every week and swimming up and down as well, and I kept getting this pain here, and I thought, what the heck's that? I better go to the doctor. So I went to see Dr. Chat, and he referred me to a specialist. He said, do you want to go privately? You'll get in straight away. So I said, yeah. So I go to see this guy, and he said, there's something wrong there. Although they'd given me all the tests, and I'd done them all, no problem.
Wow.
I was never out of breath. This is what surprised me. I'm never out of breath.
Because you're really healthy, like obviously you're into sport your whole life as well, so it's like,
yeah.
But it really came out of the blue, didn't it?
It did. And it came out of the blue to the doctors, because when I had to have that angiogram, it was quite fun. I had a laugh there too, because the guy who's doing it says, right, Gerry, get on there, you know. And he said, I've set the screen up there so you can watch it as we go through with it, and you'll see it all coursing through your body and all that. I said, I beg your pardon? He said, you can watch it on that screen. I said, I don't want to watch it. I said, if you want me to watch it, put it on a DVD and I'll take it home and I'll file it away and watch it if I really want to. And he laughed. And anyway, I never looked at the screen once. Next thing I know, the doctor's coming through. Gerry, bad news. You're going to have a triple heart bypass. Oh,
How old was you?
50. I must have just been 50. Yeah, because I paid privately to go for the first check. And when they needed the heart bypass, I saw the same doctor. And he said, now, if you want to go privately for that, it's £3,000. Now, it wasn't that I couldn't afford £3,000, but I thought, do I really want to spend £3,000 on that? So I said, look, am I likely to drop dead any minute? And he said, well, no more likely than anybody else, because we could all die at the drop of a hat, you know. So that convinced me. I thought, right, I'll take my chance. I'm absolutely petrified.
I would be.
Petrified.
I would be.
Deborah comes up to stay.
Was that the most terrifying moment of your life, do you reckon?
Yes, because I don't consider Linda dying terrifying. That was the worst moment in my life. So comes the next day and off I go and operation. So I remember the first thing I did after I'd come round, the doctor comes to me and says, right, Gerry, let's get you up and have you walking across this ward. And I went, I can't walk across this ward. I've got a load of wires on me and all sorts, carrying something with them in, you know. And I said, I can't. Yeah, you can, he said. Yeah, you can. You can do it. I said, I'm sure I can't. He said, well, come on, get up. And of course, I did it. Yeah.
Let me ask you something about it, because a lot of people I've spoken to before that have had heart operations, or just like a serious operation like in general, they say that it profoundly changes their outlook in life. Like every moment is precious after that point. Did you feel that?
No.
Didn't you?
No.
Wow.
No, because to me, every moment before that was precious. That's why I didn't feel it, probably.
Right.
I loved life. I loved every minute of it. Even, like I said, even the bad times were good. You know, I'm not sure Linda thought that all the time, but she did magnificently. I used to go in there when I was a kid. He threatened us to go to the top.
Can you actually go in top of the tower? Yeah.
We did when I was young, yes.
Right. I didn't realise you could.
We had a way of getting round the turnstile.
Ah, okay.
So if you were a bit short of money, you could manage, if you were lucky and slim, you'd get round without paying.
Well, what's your thoughts about AI?
My thoughts about AI, it's disgraceful, it's awful, And any author that uses AI should change their title to a writer. You can't argue that they're not a writer, but if you're using AI, you're not an author.
I agree.
That's in my opinion.
I agree.
I've read an AI book and I absolutely slated it on Goodreads. I explained why, and I ended up with a footnote saying, if this is the best AI can do, they should abandon the job straight away. Yep.
What piece of wisdom, if you could pick one, would you like to pass on to a younger generation?
It's probably my character that makes me say this. Do everything to the max. Do the best you can. Don't hold back. Get on with it. Be yourself as well. Speak up. Do the best you can in life and enjoy it. That's the main thing. Enjoy it.
Amazing.
And I've enjoyed every minute of my life, I must say, except the 25th of June 2004. I didn't enjoy that.
No,
When Linda stopped breathing in that room, oh, I'll never forget that minute. Never forget it.